I see midnight struck my parents' living room the day I realized blood means nothing when money's on the table. My name is Jonathan Thornton, 34 years old, and 6 months ago, I watched my family execute the perfect betrayal. The conference room smelled like leather and expensive lies when my parents handed my sister everything: the house, the business, the trust fund worth nearly $1 million, my inheritance, empty hands, and a lecture about being difficult. "You've always complicated things, John," my mother said, her voice surgical and cold. Eleanor smiled that practiced smile she'd perfected over the years. The lawyer shuffled papers like this was just another Tuesday. I didn't argue, didn't beg. I stood, locked eyes with Eleanor for 3 seconds, and walked out. Last week, my phone exploded with 47 missed calls. When I finally answered, my mother was hysterical. "The FBI just raided Eleanor's house," she sobbed. "They're talking about embezzlement, money laundering. John, what did your sister do with all that money?" Here's the beautiful irony. I never touched a single dollar of their precious assets. But Eleanor, the golden child who inherited everything, had made choices that were about to cost her more than she ever imagined. Growing up, I was the shadow in my own family. Eleanor was 4 years older and the sun everyone orbited around. Her high school graduation brought 100 guests and champagne. Mine brought Applebee's and four-place settings, despite graduating with honors. When Eleanor stayed home to help Dad's woodworking company, they bought her a Honda and a downtown apartment. When I got accepted to Portland State for accounting, Mom sighed like I'd announced a terminal illness. "We can't help with tuition, John. You understand?" I understood perfectly. Student loans, 2 jobs, sleepless nights, and a 3.8 GPA later, I graduated. My parents missed the ceremony. "We can't leave the business for a whole weekend," Mom explained. That same weekend, Eleanor posted wine tasting photos from Napa Valley. I moved to Portland, earned my CPA license, and climbed the ladder at a mid-sized accounting firm. Every loan dollar paid back a loan, but I called every Sunday, sent birthday cards, flew home when my bank account allowed it. Every conversation followed the same script. "How's Eleanor?" Mom would ask before hello finished leaving my mouth. Then, like an afterthought, "How are you, John?" The message carved itself into my bones. Eleanor sacrificed, Eleanor stayed, Eleanor mattered. I was just the son who chose ambition over family loyalty. 2 years before the lawyer's office ambush, I made the mistake of trying to help. Mom called, frantic about tax deadlines. "John, you're an accountant. Can you look at our books?" I spent my own money on that flight home. Spent my weekend at their kitchen table buried in spreadsheets and chaos. That's when I found it. Large cash withdrawals totaling nearly $80,000 over 12 months. No documentation, no invoices, just miscellaneous expenses in Eleanor's handwriting. I found Mom in the living room. "These withdrawals need documentation. Where did this money go?" Her face turned to stone. "That's company business, John." Eleanor appeared in the doorway, arms crossed. "Are you seriously interrogating us about private finances?" I kept my voice level. "If the IRS audits you, they'll demand proof. This is serious." "We don't need your lectures," Eleanor snapped. "We've run this business for 20 years. Mom's voice softened into condescension. "You mean well, John, but you're paranoid. Everything's fine." I flew back to Portland the next morning, never mentioned it again. The email arrived on a Tuesday morning. Subject line, "Family meeting, your attendance required. Lawrence Greenberg, attorney at law." Why were we discussing estates? I texted Eleanor. No response. Called Mom. "What's going on?" "Family business, Friday at 10. Don't be late." Click. On the plane, I cycled through possibilities. Maybe they were finally honoring Grandma Dorothy's will. She'd died 5 years ago, leaving a trust fund with equal distribution to both grandchildren. Maybe now they were ready to make things right. I should have known better. I arrived 10 minutes early. The receptionist barely glanced up. "Conference room B. They're already inside." Through the glass panel, I saw them, my parents and Eleanor, around a polished table, laughing, coffee cups and document stacks between them. No one had waited. I opened the door. "John, you made it," Dad said. In front of them sat prepared folders. In front of my seat sat nothing. Lawrence Greenberg cleared his throat. "We're here to finalize the distribution of family assets." My stomach dropped. "The family residence, valued at $1.2 million, will be transferred to Eleanor Thornton. The business, Thornton Custom Woodworks, will also transfer to Eleanor. Additionally, the family trust fund, currently valued at $800,000, will be placed under Eleanor's sole ownership." He paused. "And for Jonathan Thornton, no assets have been designated." Silence crushed the air. "I'm sorry, what?" Mom spoke before the lawyer could. "John, we've discussed this as a family. This makes the most sense." "I wasn't part of that discussion." "Eleanor has been here," Dad said quietly. "She's been present." "And I haven't?" My voice cracked. Mom sighed. You chose to leave, John. Eleanor chose family. She's earned this. This isn't about need, my voice shook. This is about fairness. Family is about being there, Mom cut in. You've always been difficult, John, always questioning everything. Difficult. The word landed like a knife. Dad nodded. Your sister has proven herself. We need someone dependable. I looked at Eleanor. She stared at her coffee cup. Do you have anything to say? She looked up briefly. I think Mom and Dad have made their decision. I stood up. Mr. Thornton, would you like to review the documents? No, thank you. I understand perfectly. John, don't be dramatic, Mom frowned. I wasn't being theatrical. I was done. I grabbed my bag and turned to Eleanor. She shifted uncomfortably. I smiled at her, not bitter, not angry, just clear. Congratulations, Eleanor. I hope it all works out for you. Her eyes widened. John, I mean it. I really do. Dad stood. John, you're acting like we've wronged you. This is practical. The business needs continuity. And Eleanor has everything now, I finished. I get it, Dad. I looked at Mom one last time. She watched me with confusion, like I wasn't following her script. You're being childish, she said. Maybe. I walked toward the door, then paused. Just curious, what happened to Grandma Dorothy's money? She left a trust fund for me and Eleanor. Equal shares. I remember from the funeral. The room went still. Mom's face hardened. That money went toward family expenses, the house, the business. I nodded slowly. Right. The family. John, Mom called as I opened the door. Don't act like you're the victim here. I'm not acting like anything, Mom. I'm just going home. My hands shook in the rental car, but I didn't cry. My phone buzzed. Mom's text. You're overreacting. Call me when you calm down. I turned it face down. Driving to the airport, something nagged at me. Mom's words about family expenses. That wasn't what Grandma Dorothy said. I remembered clearly. I'd been 29, drowning in student debt. Grandma had pulled me aside at her birthday party 2 months before she died. I've set up a trust for you and Eleanor. Equal shares, $500,000, $250 each. At the funeral, her lawyer mentioned the trust. My parents handled everything since I had to fly back to Portland. I'd never seen documents, never received money, never asked. I'd trusted them. By the time I boarded, a plan formed. I'd search my old emails. Grandma's lawyer had sent something years ago, a courtesy copy I'd barely read through grief, but I saved everything. Home at 9 p.m., I opened my laptop, searched Dorothy Whitfield, 43 results. Then, dated 5 years ago, 2 weeks after her funeral, estate documents, Dorothy Ann Whitfield from Patricia Myers, estate attorney. I clicked the PDF, 23 pages. On page 16, Section 7, Trust Fund Distribution, $500,000 shall be divided equally between my grandsons Jonathan Michael Thornton and Eleanor Catherine Thornton, each receiving $250,000. Distribution no later than 90 days following my death. 5 years ago, 90 days, I'd received nothing. I printed it, labeled the folder, and sat in the dark. 2 weeks later, Eleanor posted on Facebook. She tagged me, standing in front of our childhood home with champagne. Officially mine. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for trusting me with our family legacy. Family is everything. 63 likes. Aunt Karen commented, your grandmother would be so proud. Stephanie messaged, did your parents give her the house? Are you okay? I replied, family dynamics are complicated. Happy for her. Over the next week, Eleanor posted 6 more times. Her new office, paperwork labeled Thornton Trust Fund, selfies with our parents. Not one mention of me. It was like I'd been erased. 1 month later, Mom threw a party. I found out on Instagram. Eleanor's video showed string lights, 30 people, a banner. Congratulations, Eleanor. New CEO. My father raising a glass. Lawrence Greenberg holding appetizers. Cousins, Uncle Tom, everyone we knew. No one told me. Comments flooded in. My cousin Melissa asked, wait, was John there? Eleanor replied, he's really busy with work in Portland. Couldn't make it. A lie, as if I'd been invited. Eleanor gave a speech. I couldn't have done this without my parents' support. This business is our family's legacy. Applause erupted. Dad hugged her, tears in his eyes. I sat in Portland, 800 miles away, watching my family celebrate my official exclusion. My phone stayed silent all night. 3 months later, Eleanor called. Tuesday morning, I was reviewing client reports. We hadn't spoken since I'd walked out. John, it's Eleanor. I know. A pause. How are you? Fine. What do you need? She laughed awkwardly. Straight to the point. Look, the house needs a new roof. Water damage. I need to borrow $15,000. I blinked. You need to borrow from me? Temporarily. I'll pay back in 3 months. Eleanor, you have an $800,000 trust fund. Silence. The money's tied up. Investments. Really good ones, but not liquid right now. What kind of investments? That's not your concern, John. My jaw tightened. You're asking for 15,000, but won't explain why you can't access your own money? I'm asking because you're my sister, and I need help. The roof is leaking. Your house now, remember? You know what I mean. Eleanor, I don't have 15,000 to lend. Yes, you do. You're an accountant. You make good money. I have student loans, rent, expenses. You've always been selfish, John. The line was so familiar, it almost made me laugh. I'll remember you said that. Good luck with the roof. I hung up. 4 months later, unknown number. Is this Jonathan Thornton? Yes. Who's calling? Patricia Myers, estate attorney. I represent the Dorothy Whitfield estate. We're auditing asset distribution. You were designated to receive 250,000. Can you confirm receipt? My heart pounded. No, I never received anything. Long pause. Nothing at all? Nothing. My parents said the money went to family expenses. Typing. Mr. Thornton, that money was designated for you individually, not for general family use. I have a copy of the will. Good. Hold on to it. Did you sign documents releasing your claim? No, I was never asked. Did anyone contact you about distribution? No, just my parents saying they handled everything. She was quiet. This is concerning. The full amount was transferred to your father's account as trustee with instructions to distribute within 90 days. That was 5 years ago. What does that mean? It means I need to contact your family's attorney immediately. Something's very wrong here. 3 days later, she called back. I've reviewed the records. Your grandmother's will explicitly states equal distribution. Your parents had no legal authority to redirect your portion. I'll be contacting them formally. There may be additional complications. What complications? She hesitated. I've noticed irregular activity regarding the trust transferred to Eleanor. Large withdrawals, unfamiliar accounts, possible tax implications, or legal issues. I can't say more until I investigate. My stomach dropped. Eleanor's words echoed. The money's tied up in investments. Mr. Thornton, you've done nothing wrong. You're the victim of apparent misappropriation. My job is ensuring you receive what your grandmother intended. Do I need to do anything? Not yet. I'll handle legal outreach, but I need your permission to proceed. You have it. One more thing. Don't discuss this with your family yet. If there are legal issues, I don't want evidence tampered with or assets moved. After hanging up, I sat staring at nothing. I hadn't wanted a fight. I just wanted truth. Now truth was coming whether my family was ready or not. And Eleanor's investments were about to become everyone's problem. 6 months after the lawyer meeting, everything exploded. I was in a client meeting when my phone started vibrating. Once, twice, 3 times in a row. I ignored it, focusing on the client's Q4 budget concerns. But the buzzing didn't stop. When the meeting ended an hour later, I picked up my phone and froze. 47 missed calls, 10 from Mom, 5 from Dad, 32 from Eleanor, 23 texts. Mom's most recent. John, answer your phone. Emergency. My hands shook scrolling through messages. Eleanor's last text, sent 60 seconds ago. The FBI is here. Call me. My heart stopped. I stepped into an empty conference room and called Mom back. She answered on the first ring. John, oh my God, finally. Mom, what's happening? She was sobbing. Actual gasping sobs. They're here. The FBI is at Eleanor's house right now. They came with a warrant. They're taking computers, files, everything. What? Why? They're saying embezzlement, money laundering. John, what did Eleanor do with that trust fund money? I gripped the table edge. Mom, I didn't touch that money. I never received any of it. But Eleanor said you reported her. She said this was your fault. Mom, I didn't report anyone. I don't even know what's happening. They're questioning her right now. Documents, transactions, account numbers. John, they think she stole money. From who? I don't know. Mom was hyperventilating. They mentioned fraud, international transfers, some investment scheme. Shouting erupted in the background, Dad's voice angry and desperate. John, you have to help. You're an accountant. You can explain Eleanor didn't know. Mom, stop. My voice was firmer than I'd ever used with her. I can't help with this. I don't know anything about Eleanor's finances. But you work with the FBI on tax cases, don't you? No, Mom, I work with the IRS sometimes. That's completely different. You have to do something. She's your sister. I'm not involved in this. A crash in the background. Something heavy falling. Mom screamed. Mom, what's happening? They're taking everything. Computers, filing cabinets. John, they're treating her like a criminal. Dad's voice came through, distant but clear. Margaret, get off the phone. The lawyer said not to talk to anyone. This is our daughter, Mom shrieked back. Then to me, John, please help us. We don't know what to do. I closed my eyes. Mom, you need to hire a criminal defense attorney, not a family lawyer, a criminal attorney. Criminal? My baby girl isn't a criminal. Then she'll need a lawyer to prove that. How can you be so cold? I hung up and immediately Googled FBI raid Beaverton, Oregon. First result, posted 20 minutes ago. FBI raids local business owner's home in financial fraud investigation. Federal agents executed a search warrant Friday morning as part of an investigation into alleged money laundering and investment fraud. Sources say the investigation involves an international pyramid scheme that defrauded investors of millions. The homeowner allegedly transferred over $600,000 into accounts linked to the scheme. $600,000, the trust fund had been $800,000. Eleanor had clearly spent or transferred most of it. I called Patricia Myers, Grandma Dorothy's estate lawyer. Miss Thornton, I was about to call you. Are you aware of what's happening with your sister? I just heard. My mother called in a panic. I want to assure you, you're not implicated. The FBI contacted me yesterday to verify your portion of the trust. I confirmed you never received your funds. They've cleared you from the investigation. Relief flooded through me. What happened? What did Eleanor do? From what I understand, she was approached by an investment group promising high returns. She transferred a substantial amount into their accounts. Turns out the group was a front for an international money laundering operation. Did she know? That's what they're investigating. If she didn't know, she's a victim. If she ignored warning signs or helped facilitate transfers, she could face charges. I thought about Eleanor's evasiveness when she'd asked to borrow money. The money's tied up. How bad is this? I asked. Very. That night, Eleanor called. Her voice was raw, like she'd been crying for hours. John, please, I need your help. I didn't know it was fake. This guy, Marcus Sheffield, he was so professional. Documents, references, everything looked legitimate. He said he ran a venture capital fund, portfolios of successful investments. He said I could double my money in 2 years. I closed my eyes. Did you verify any of it? He had a website, an office, other investors. Did you check with the SEC? Did you talk to a financial advisor? Silence. Eleanor, you moved $600,000 without doing due diligence. I trusted him, she shouted, then softer. I thought I was being smart. I thought I was growing the family wealth. That wasn't family wealth. Half of it was mine. I was going to tell you after it doubled. I was going to give you your share and more. That's not how this works. She started crying again. They're saying I could go to prison, John. The FBI said if I cooperated, I might avoid charges. But I need a lawyer, and lawyers are expensive, and You have $800,000. I don't. It's gone. It's all in Marcus's accounts, and they're frozen, and I can't access anything. What about the house? The business? We need to sell them to pay for the lawyer. Her voice cracked. John, you're an accountant. You understand this. Can you come here? Can you explain to the FBI that I didn't know? That I'm not a criminal? Eleanor, I can't do that. Or why not? You're my brother. Because I don't know if you're telling the truth. The line went silent. Dad called the next morning. John, we need to talk about what you're going to tell the FBI. I'm not telling them anything, Dad. I'm not involved. You could vouch for Eleanor's character. Dad, character references don't matter in fraud investigations. They care about evidence. His voice hardened. Why are you being so stubborn? I'm not being stubborn. I'm protecting myself. From what? From your own family? From legal liability. Dad, if I get involved and say the wrong thing, I could be called as a witness. I could be subpoenaed. This is serious. Your sister is facing prison. I know, and I'm sorry, but 2 years ago, I warned you about financial irregularities in the business. Remember what Mom said? Silence. She said I was paranoid. She said I was making things complicated. You all shut me down. That was different. It wasn't different, Dad. You didn't want to hear it then. Now you want my help after you gave Eleanor everything and left me with nothing. We gave her responsibility. You gave her my inheritance. Dad, Grandma Dorothy's money was supposed to be split equally. You let Eleanor take it all. Now it's gone and you're surprised. We thought we were doing the right thing. For who? He didn't answer. I'm sorry this is happening. I really am. But I can't fix it. Eleanor made her choices. Now she has to face the consequences. Dad's voice was cold. You've become very hard, John. No, Dad. I've become honest. He hung up. He